What's up, you all? So, we're getting close here. We're getting close. Things are getting really, really, really out of hand. So, right now, I was looking at the news in Australia. A whole state in Australia is under lockdown right now. And this is not making national news. This is not making international news. I don't see it on CNN. I don't see this stuff. And this is the problem with this whole argument right here, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to get into something really quick after this, but there are two narratives out here, and I've seen both of these on the news. These are perfectly honest. I'm not making this up. So the first narrative is that people who've taken a treatment, the shot, these people are now totally, almost 99.99% immune from getting any type of sickness. They can't get it, right? So that's the whole push, is to get people to take this thing, and then they can't get it, right? That's the first narrative. That's why the whole push is to get everyone treated, get that shot. The next narrative is that the people who have not taken this shot, who have not received treatment, they are the ones who are spreading this sickness around, and they are threatening those who have taken this shot or taken the treatment, and they are the ones who must be made or mandated to get this shot or take this treatment, because they're a threat to not just those who haven't, but those who have as well. So those are the main narratives that are being pushed around in the media and by science. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am crazy. I don't think I am, but I think these statements contradict themselves. How could it be true? How could it be true that those who have not gotten this treatment could be a threat to those who have? Well, I thought we were 99.99% sure that if those who've taken it, which is the reason why people are taking it, they're immune. They're fine. See, they're spinning two different angles. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. And the problem is that this is what they want, right? They want to flood the media with all types of information and misinformation, so they get people confused, so people cannot come to consensus. And people who are confused are easily manipulated. People who are afraid are easily manipulated. This is the reason why we have all this going on, and no one can come to the knowledge of the truth. It's a real problem, and it's unfortunate that people, the more I see it, it's like a herd of sheep who are being scattered. They're being scattered. They don't know where to run for information. They're confused. They're looking at this source, they're looking at that source, and they can't come to a knowledgeable, reasonable consensus of what to do or what not to do. And this is how people are taking advantage of people, because they can't come to consensus. They know how people think, and they're using people's emotions. They're using the way our bodies are hardwired against us. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And they want total control. Total control. And I just don't know why people cannot see this. Why people just won't take a stand and say enough is enough. Why can't we have our own say of what we want to do with our bodies? I thought that's what the argument was with women, right? With abortion, I thought that was women's choice, because it's their body, and they get to do with what they want to do. They get to murder another human being because they want to, right? And again, I think it's an erroneous argument, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. But again, you can't have it two ways. If a woman can have her way with her own body, then every other human being should have the right as well to have their right with their body and say, hey, I choose what goes in, or I choose what goes out of my body, because this is mine, and this is where the buck stops. You see, this whole system has been cleverly thought out. All these people that we have in office, all they are, they're just pawns. From the president to the vice president to scientists to these talking heads, all they are is pawns. The people who make the decisions, you don't know who they are, you've never seen them. These people are billionaires and trillionaires. and they want total influence, they want total control, they don't care about people, they want to depopulate the earth, they want to cause more confusion, so they can have their reign, of course, to have one world global governance, because they want total control. That's what they want. At the end of the day, and that's the thing, when you have this conversation with most people, they're going to think this is a conspiracy. Because again, most people, unfortunately, they can't think outside the box. They don't have the ability to. They don't have the ability to, and it's sad. But a lot of us who are listening to it, we understand. Even if you don't know, you know something's not right. Now, no one totally knows what's going on, me included, in terms of what's going to happen next. But we know something's off. This is not right. So with that being said, it's incumbent upon you to start doing research if you don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do. And I would encourage you not to just be a YouTube scholar or you go to YouTube University, but do some real research, do some real study. Pick up books. Watch some Google videos, but also, watch some YouTube videos, but also go on Google, look at different sides of the argument. Look at multiple sources of information in terms of news. I mean, just because Fox News and CNN and all these major outlets, I mean, they're controlled by, of course, the people who are pushing this narrative around. So we know we're not going to get the truth from them. But what you can do is you can triangulate. If you see what they're saying, you compare it to what you know is the truth, then you can see how much or how big of liars that they really are. And that's the whole idea, is to see what they're saying, because you know it's a lie. And that's the only reason why you're listening to Fox News or CNN, is you just want to see what they're lying about and all these major outlets. The truth is it's like a gem. You're gonna have to mine it out, and it takes a lot of energy and time to mine out the truth. And if you care about your life, if you care about your future, you're gonna take the time to go out there and find the truth. And once you know the truth, you'll receive the truth. But the problem with most people is they don't want to receive the truth. People want to hear what they want to hear. Because if it doesn't line up with consensus, if it doesn't line up with what the experts are saying, they don't want to hear it. Because they have totally given over all their authority, all their thought capacity to those who are over them. And that's why they're being exploited. And again, it's their own fault. We all have the ability to think. I don't care how many degrees you have. Thinking, or thought capacity, and creative thinking, and free thought, we all have that ability. You don't have to have a PhD in rocket science just to be able to think independently and think critically. You don't have to. But that's the way people are making it out to be. I'm going to trust the experts on what they say because they're smarter than me. I'm going to do what they tell you to do. Then you, my friend, have become a slave. You've given your privilege, you've given your rights up, and you're a slave. And in all actuality, the people who've given in, these are the real traitors right here. And again, we're not trying to go us against them, but they're giving in to the status quo. They're giving into the status quo. So unfortunately, when people are saying let's fight this system, let's go raise arms, let's go fight them, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because you have to understand, people. This next phase, this next war, what they're doing against mankind, it's not about might. First of all, you can't beat them by might. They have more capital, more weaponry, more armies than you'll ever have. But the problem is that these people are smart. They know they don't have to mandate. They don't have to make a national mandate by federal law that you have to do certain things. All they need is consensus. All they need is majority. If they have 55 or 60% of the population who's willing to do what they say, then what they'll do is they're going to have the remainder of the population who has not complied. They're going to freeze you out. If you haven't done this, you lose your job. If you haven't done this, you can't go on the airplane. That's how this next phase is going to be. It's not going to be something that's going to be mandated by law. It's by consensus. And the problem is that those of us who have complied have given away their rights, are making it almost impossible now for those who have held out and those who are still trying to fight for some type of freedom here. They're almost making it impossible right now because consensus is that most people have taken it. Those who haven't they're on the wrong side and they're wrong, right? And that's what they're trying to do. They want to pit people against each other because they know human beings are not big picture thinkers. Just like racism, which is nonsense. Race doesn't even exist, first of all. But anyway, they can create these things up called racism or race. They can make people choose sides and they'll make people fight over little things while they go and control us and while they take all the money, all the resources, and meanwhile we're fighting over crumbs. So the same thing's happening right now because they know that human beings are small-minded thinkers. They're not able to think outside of what they know or what they tell you to do. What we're seeing now, the next thing's not going to be about racism. It's not going to be about black or white. It's going to be about those who are treated or those who are untreated. You know what I'm saying? And those who are going to look at those who have not and say, oh, why didn't you do what I did? And they're going to look down, they're going to try to isolate those who have not and marginalize them. They're going to make their life difficult. And that's the next phase because they know how people will do. And once that's done, they know that people will do their job for them. They no longer have to have state mandates. They no longer have to do that because people tend to enforce or self-police themselves. They know how people think. See, that's what people just don't understand. People enforce. They just set the system up. They have the structure in place, and they know that once it's there, people will do their job for them. They're going to police for them. They're going to shame others for not doing what they've done. Oh, why haven't you done what we've done? Oh, you must not be this, you must not be that. Because you didn't, you can't come here. You can't go there. That's where it's going. And it's unfortunate that most people, majority of people, are small-minded thinkers and can't see the big picture. We are our own worst enemies, leading each other into captivity. It's so unfortunate. People had a broader perspective, weren't selfish, they weren't cowards, and people were willing to listen, we wouldn't be in this mess. But it's unfortunate. I don't see any way out of this because human nature is going to destroy mankind. Unfortunately. Prepare yourself.